everyone, to our Groundskeeper Chat series. I am your host, Meg Kruger. I am coming live to you from Fort Worth, Texas, here at the SFMA show. I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Christopher Bell.
Hello, hello.
He's doing a wonderful job. He's the lifeblood of this show. He's the talent, the energy.
Keep going.
The pizzazz.
The pizzazz. I just like to sit back and listen.
Yes, truly. But we are being joined by some Texas flavor for this episode. We tried to pack the schedule with as much Texas flavor as we could find. So, Mr. Troy Crawford, thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me. I appreciate being brought on here and talking to y'all.
And so, like I said, we've already had Brad Finn with the University of Houston.
Love Brad.
We had to start off with some Texas energy, and he sure brought it.
He brings
my
the
goodness,
energy.
yes.
Brad brings the energy for sure.
He brought his buddy Colby with him.
Yes,
Okay.
and that was quite the entertaining episode. So everyone, we're now in our fourth episode of the series, the SFMA, Fort Worth series. But we've got lots to come. And the next one up is our next victim, as I so fondly call them, Mr. Troy Crawford. So thank you for joining us, sir.
I appreciate it.
And I was, I asked you before this, I was like, what's the official title right now? Like, maybe I'll try and get it right. But as soon as you started trying to describe, I'm going to let him explain that one to everyone. So what we can do is we can start with your turf origin story. So from the very beginning, how did this industry come on your radar? How did you decide that it was going to be the one for you?
So when I moved to Texas, met my wife. She was a maid of honor at my brother's wedding. So.
Oh my gosh! Okay, halt the episode. I need. She needs to get on the mic. I need to hear the full enchilada on that. That is so well, because you know why I'm intrigued by that is I married my roommate's brother. So it was a similar situation where you could be ruffling a lot of feathers, but it also just makes sense. So
Yeah.
I love that for you guys.
So
how long have you been married?
31 years, 32 years.
Incredible.
Thank you for correcting him.
I love it. I love it.
So I moved to Texas, and my brother has a graphic design business.
Okay.
And so he came up with Diamond Pro's logo.
Oh, okay.
Okay, very
And
cool.
so he was working with Jim Anglia at the time and that. And so I was helping him, and Jim's like, do you want a job? And I was like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I started back in 93 at the old stadium here in Arlington.
Very cool.
Okay.
So got brought on in as a grounds person, tarp crew, and we were building the new stadium in 94 at the time. Got to do that, and then got a full-time spot, and that just kind of progressed into a career that I was actually pretty decent at.
I love it.
I always kid my assistants in that I took a correspondence course to help me get more educated, and nobody knows what the heck a correspondence course is.
I was going to say,
I know
am
what
I
it is.
supposed to know what that is?
So it was before they had online
Yep.
stuff. So, yeah, I got
cool.
certified through the University of Georgia and that just kind of took off with the industry. And they were building at the time it was Enron, but now it's Minute Maid, and I'm not sure what the Astros facility is right now. But moved down there and helped build that, finished that, and worked on the grounds crew there.
So you've been a part of some pretty impressive, Texas family turf trees.
Yeah, I always said until they built the new field here in Arlington that I built both of the Texas baseball stadiums in the state of Texas.
So cool.
It's true.
I love that.
But yeah, so that's kind of my origin. I kind of went from there. I was in local government. I took care of sports fields for Colleyville and a couple other places until but I've always stayed close with Tom Jones with FC Dallas, and as we worked together with each other at the Rangers, and he had Moneygram came online with the city of Dallas and FC Dallas, and so we talked about it for about 2 years till it came to fruition.
Oh, goodness.
And I was there for 12 years, so, and now kind of came full circle back with the Rangers as we build this stadium in Mansfield for FC Dallas' second team, North Texas SC.
Okay.
And what does second team mean? Is this in baseball terms, is it like the minor leagues of sorts?
So yes, it is in to quote you, with baseball, it would be like a AAA team in baseball.
Okay.
So what it does is it allows all the MLS teams to keep more players under contract, so they're not going over to Europe and playing on those teams, and allows us to keep them here.
Yep.
And it'll help MLS grow, and so they're not going overseas.
Yep. And what a year to be, taking on a position like that, where the footprint of soccer in the United States is, our hopes are that it's only going to shoot off like gangbusters. But what a cool opportunity to, Weston Appenfeller, he was one of the, like, when I first started at Pioneer, I was like, these groundskeepers are pretty cool. Like, there's definitely some cool stories here. And he was one of the first groundskeepers that was hired before the place was built, or before the team took the field.
Yeah, in Austin,
And it's like become now second nature for them to start consulting the people who are going to be taking care of the living, breathing, field. And what a cool opportunity it is to see that respect and the expertise to be acknowledged and, brought in before the players even take the field.
Well, that's the nice thing about it, is they bring you in earlier, so at least you get to see, where everything is, the design, and then you see what actually is put in. But you also get to keep an eye on them and make sure they're doing it the way you want it. And the group that's installing it has been wonderful. I've changed out irrigation heads to different high-speed heads, and I've moved some stuff around. I've added some soil moisture sensors, and they've been great. But I'm adapting it to what I want and what I know, and so it's good to come in while they're building it.
Yeah.
And you're right. Weston does have a lot of great stories. I visited with him quite a bit, and I was actually just talking to him about 30 minutes ago. So
he's just like,
love that guy.
When he walks around here, everyone's so excited about good old Weston.
But we worked with him, so we know.
We know the real story behind.
So when Weston was starting down there in Austin, he was looking at Tiff Tuff, and I had just put Tiff Tuff in at Moneygram, and he was touring around with a sod company, and I think Dr. Schwartz actually came down there, and so they wanted to look at how the turf that they put in, the Tiff Tuff, was doing here. And and I was talking with Dr. Schwartz about what I've learned, and had an excellent opportunity to go down. And my son was served in the Army, and he graduated out of boot camp, and so went down to Georgia and drove a couple hours to Tifton and met with Dr. Schwartz.
Very cool.
And toured his facility and shared pictures with him, and so we've all stayed in touch, and I've seen him a couple times over the years, and he keeps track. So as we renovated fields, we were sprigging in Tiff Tuff and growing it in, and he was curious to see, because normally when you do that, you make it a rice paddy, you add a lot of water, and that was actually detrimental. Since Tiff Tuff is so drought tolerant, I was just watering it normal like the other fields next to it, and it did much, much better.
Huh.
And what kind of field will you guys be installing over at the new park?
So we'll have latitude at the stadium in Mansfield.
Okay.
Which is a little bit different, but it's what we have up in FC Dallas, up in Frisco. So
very cool.
We're trying to stay
consistency.
Yeah.
Very cool. And now, will you be building a crew from the ground up? Will you be starting at square one with that?
Well, yes, but I stole so the assistant that's currently up at FC Dallas used to work for me at Moneygram.
Okay.
And so I'm stealing him back.
You had some ownership over that one.
I trained him, and they stole him, and now I'm stealing him back.
I love it.
I was just talking with Pedro earlier. Great kid, young kid, and man, he's going to be a great asset. So from there, I don't know what we'll have, but I know I got a strong assistant, so I'm excited about that.
The rest will fall into place. What's one of those things that you need to see, innate qualities or a drive or something within a person that you're like, okay, they'll be okay on my crew?
It depends, it's definitely drive. For Pedro, for instance, on his first day at work, took him out there and put him on a tractor and an aerifier and told him what I wanted, and he goes, I got it.
I love it.
And I left and came back, and he had done twice as much as what I asked him to do.
Wow.
So he grew up on a farm and knew how to drive tractors and everything else, and so drive, knowledge.
Yep.
he has since, when he started, he was going to college and he changed his major. Now he's majoring in agronomy, going online at Penn State. He's set to graduate this summer. So you're looking at those kinds of things, the quality. I mean, he was raised right. Yes, sir, no, sir. And if we're fixing irrigation, he's the first one in the hole.
I love it.
Digging, and doesn't matter how muddy he gets. So I'm just looking, I don't care what kind of knowledge they have. As long as they have a work ethic and show up every day, I can teach you what you need to know.
I love it.
But those are the guys I want to go to battle with.
Yep.
And so, yeah.
That's a common. It's a common theme we've heard a lot today from our guests. Is the same kind of personality. Someone who's willing to, just be part of a team and go the extra mile, and maybe not be a perfectionist, but saying, that's not good enough. Let's redo it.
Yeah. And I loved that you said going to battle, because that's been one of my questions is, like, when you're in the trenches of turf, let's say it's before that big home opener and you've had, an event or you've had flooring on the field and you are in the trenches. Who are those three people you want beside you? It could be turf legends. I assume Pedro's one of them, because from how you described him, you want to go into battle with him. But who are some of the two other folks that you're like, if I'm going into battle, I want these two next to me?
I would say Weston would be one of them.
I love it.
That guy's so knowledgeable and so easy to talk to and conversate with. And, I've been through a lot of situations over the 30 years, but I'm sure he's been through some other ones. And I think that's what you're looking at. And, I think the turf industry as a whole, we share, and we're share on social media. We will help anyone.
Yep.
And we don't try and keep everything quiet or to ourselves. If we learn something, we're sharing it to try and help and benefit someone else. So I'd say Weston would be one. I would have to say my current boss. I mean, Tom Jones, I've known him since I was 19 years old. And
oh, wow.
And he's actually known my wife longer.
So cool.
Was her Sunday school teacher. So
that is so sweet.
Having known him for so long and worked together with him, we know each other. And I know he's got my back and I got his. And so those would be a couple that I would probably.
I love it. That is an all-star roster. I love it. And, you mentioned 30-plus years, and you find different people in the turf industry that are like, oh, I could, I have to be single because of the hours I keep, or I owe it all to that person at home. What credit do you give what I call the true MVP of the game? Are the people holding down the fort at home when it is a 16-hour day or a 24-hour turnover or something like that?
No pressure. She's 10 feet away.
Yeah. Well, she can't hit me that far away. So she's truly a rock star when it comes to that. I mean, she's always handled the kids in that. But, I mean, and that's what kind of led me to get into kind of the local government stuff was I remember when we were building the stadium down in Houston, my son was 1, and I would go 3 to 4 weeks without ever seeing him awake, and I barely see her awake. Luckily, she would stay up and wait for me, but that's when you just make a decision, I wanted to be a husband and a father more so than the greatest groundskeeper of all time.
Yeah.
I love what I do, but there has to be some balance.
Definitely.
And she helps rein me in when I get too far out there and I'm working too much and too focused. So it's always good to have that balance to bring you back in. And over 30 years, she knows what to say, when to say, and when to do it. So
I love it. I love it. Well, and I think it's so important for stories like yours where it's not about all the glory. It's not about, making it to the big leagues every day, but it's really about the balance of it all. It's such a good example, and it can have an impact on that next generation who could be very timid to be like, do I really want to sign up for this? Where, it might be hard for me to start a family or things like that. To have stories where it's like you can have many different lives in many different seasons in the turf industry that can fit into your life. I think of all the people that, they were at the top, or they were at a super demanding Parks and Rec, and now they're on the vendor side, and maybe they'll go back. I mean, we keep bringing him up, which it's a crime. But Weston is a perfect example of it, where he's
getting airtime.
He's been able to switch gigs to serve that season of life.
Yeah, and I think that's it. I mean, you have a good team in that you don't have to work 80 to 100 hours a week. You can take turns in that. And that's one thing when I was in Houston, I mean, we would get 1 to 2 days off a month, and it didn't need to have to be that way.
Yeah.
It was just how, but that was old school mentality. And I think as we've gotten older, things have changed, and it's just culture as culture has changed. Everybody wants to have a family in that, and you got to find that balance, and you got to understand you can't work your guys into the ground, and so there's times where I'm sure Pedro's going to be up there while I go home, and there's times I'm going to work overnight while he can go home. So and that's the give and the take, and that's what you need to be open-minded as a manager nowadays.
Yep, and empowering those people, like you said,
trust them.
On that first task you gave them, walking away was probably the best thing you could have done in that moment, to let them know, like, hey, I'm empowering you, I trust you, and I'm going to see where you take this, and how pivotal that can be on a crew, or in that, in those beginning foundational steps of formulating that boss, relationship.
I think that's one of the interesting things. My brother actually told me something. I was working at a golf course, and we were cutting holes, and he wanted to do it and never done it before, and I'm like, aren't you scared you're going to mess something up? He goes, Troy, there's nothing that I can mess up that you can't fix. And I went, well, that's a good idea. I'm like, I'm glad you think highly of me.
I think that same way about my boss, and that's why I just go out there guns a-blazing. Really, he will fix any issue that I have, right?
Absolutely, Meg.
I said yesterday when somebody turned the question back at me, like, who would I want in the trenches with me, I said that guy.
She made sure to let me know, too, so I would, good review next time.
Yes, exactly.
She knows how to play it.
I do. I'm a smart cookie. That's right.
Well, that's why I mentioned my boss, too.
I love it. Very smart. Very smart. And so, but really, what have you learned over the years? What are some of the ways that really help you recharge or refuel, so that you can, when it does require you to be the one that's holding down the fort at work, what have you learned that helps you recharge, whether it's that commute where you listen to something, or books, or a hobby? What is that for you?
Well, I think early on when the kids were younger, I coached all their soccer. I can remember several times, I'm in the middle of Dallas Cup hosting an international soccer tournament, and I will run home, coach a soccer game, run back. And
so cool.
I think being able to bring my son or daughter to some of the nicest stadiums. My daughter practicing right next to, Mexico's national team, and
so cool.
Getting to meet, the Houston Dynamo and our Houston Dash, and all of them being so wonderful to take pictures with her and help her. So those kinds of things, being able to incorporate the family into it, recharges me. I love that now I'm going to be closer to home. It'll be the closest I've ever been. Usually my commute's, 30 to 40 miles, and now it's 2.5.
Nice.
And I love it.
That's fantastic.
So I'm definitely looking forward to that, especially as I get older.
And how old are your kids? Are they still at home with you guys?
No. I got our oldest is up in New York. He's getting his master's right now on the GI Bill after he has served.
Very cool.
He's 27. He was born in 99, 27.
I'm glad we have her here. She's doing a lot of fact-checking over there.
And my daughter is 17. She's a senior in high school.
Oh, incredible.
And fixing to go into college. And so, yeah.
I love it. I have 2 boys at home, and I don't think they're ready to walk a trade show floor anytime soon. But I do think it will be cool when they're able to connect the dots, and they'll know the Magic Elves in the background of all their favorite, sports teams and things like that. I don't know if I have a future in coaching, because I coached my son's soccer team this year, his first ever soccer team, and he refused to go on the field the entire season. He was so upset that I was hanging out with other kids. He was like, this one's mine. What is happening over here?
Well, it's kind of neat, because my daughter, the age group that I coached when she was younger, there's a couple of them that I coach that are going D1 and still
so cool.
stuck with it. My daughter ended up stopping, and she started cross country. And
I'm telling you, that is the best sport for your kid to be in. the parents aren't crazy in cross country.
No.
You just get to go have an early morning Saturday hike on a beautiful course. You watch them, they run past you a few times, then they take the bus home. I swear it's the best sport for parents. He got in the worst of it. He's lacrosse, baseball, and then his daughter was into equestrian. That's the long weekends, the travel.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, he really did it wrong over there. Gosh.
Well, it was kind of neat. We at Moneygram, we ended up hosting several lacrosse meets.
Yeah.
Or
Oh,
not
very cool.
lacrosse,
Tourneys.
but cross-country meets.
Oh, cross country.
Oh, very cool.
So we would design up a course, and some of the smaller schools here in Dallas, they would have their championship there. And so it was something different, so that it's not just soccer or lacrosse or rugby.
Yep.
Right.
It was something different, and they utilized the whole place. And it was one of the coolest things that we had hosted there.
I love it. That is really cool and unique.
Kickball, I wouldn't suggest. That was bad.
Do they have professional kickball?
I'm not sure, but there was a kickball tournament, and they dug holes in fields.
Oh, really?
That's incredible.
Yeah, you get the guy pitching, wherever he pitching from. I mean, it's like a pitcher on a pitcher's mound. He dug
Just digging
a hole.
Goodness, a word to the wise.
Yeah, no
kickball.
kickball unless you're on synthetic.
All right, should we hit him with the concert question?
All right, do it.
So, your favorite concert of all time, and then your most recent concert.
Oh, shoot.
Good, we got our fact checker over here.
Yeah, I would say the concert, I got tickets to Bon Jovi for my wife.
Very cool.
Oh, she's excited about that.
When we were a bit younger and he was a bit younger. We were like second or third row
Oh, wow.
in the seats. Well, we were in the seating bowl area,
I love it.
but he happened to pop up right in front of us.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
And she was fangirling all over the place.
I love it. I love
She
it.
pushed you to the side real fast.
Oh, yeah.
I'm here alone. Let the record show.
She was there with some other lady that she had just met, both teachers, and they both pushed both the husbands away.
Oh,
and
that's hilarious.
it was
I
up
love
there.
it.
So Bon Jovi was a good one. What was it? The last concert we went to was The Weeknd.
Oh, nice.
My daughter made a big presentation and wanted
Oh
us
my
to
gosh,
take her to the
I love
concert.
that.
Oh, it's fantastic.
They did that in that Pixar movie, Turning Red.
Yeah.
When the daughter does this huge presentation to go to one of those like K-pop shows.
Yeah, so we took her to The Weeknd.
That
She
is
was
so cool.
sick, but she still had fun, and I didn't
love
understand a damn thing there, so I don't know.
That's incredible.
I could understand Bon Jovi, though.
That's a win for the home team, for sure. Well, thank you so much, Troy. It was an absolute pleasure to have you on.
Yeah.
You're welcome back anytime.
That was fun. Thank you.
Thanks, Troy.
And once you're all settled into your new gig, we would love to hear more.
Sounds good. Yeah,
Wonderful.
for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.